Hello and welcome to this third day of MIAMAFV, where we take a look at the Halo franchise and try to figure out what the hell went wrong.
It's red panty night when you decide to fight me, yeah?
Have you ever? No, I've never! I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
I'm gay.
A lot of people say that the last good Halo game was Halo 3, so why not third day of MIAMAFV, fuck it. I happen to believe the last truly great Halo game was Halo Reach. Your definition of great may be very different, but when you look at it, Halo Reach had a great single-player campaign. It wasn't really canon if you go by the books, but screw it. You can do different shit with different medium. It doesn't really matter. And the multiplayer was great. It had its shortcomings. Surely everybody remembers armor abilities being a problem, but Halo Reach was the last really good Halo game. Halo 4, trying to be like Call of Duty with its classes you could make, with custom starting weapons and stuff like that, doesn't really fit with Halo's playstyle though. Halo was always about, here's your BR. This is probably the best standard weapon in the game, just run with it. 3 shots to the head, and they're done. Simple as that. There are power weapons on the map, remember where they're at, remember how long it takes to spawn. They would fix this later on. I actually like that in Halo 5, where they actually have a countdown clock after you pick up a weapon about when it's going to be back, and it stays on the map no matter where you're at. You can see it. That's a really nice touch. It takes away some of that grind that you had to go through in Halo 3 of memorizing respawn times and looking at the clock and making sure that you got your timing down. It removes that, where a guy who's new can just jump in and already know that already. You don't have to lose 20 games before you finally get that down. For most people, they probably lost a lot more than 20 games before they figured that one out. But Halo was always a kind of low-speed chess match. You had 4 guys on your team, and you couldn't move that fast. And according to different maps, you couldn't move in a straight line somewhere. You had to go around, you had to go up a ramp or up a lift or something before you could move up. Halo 4 and Halo Reach, to an extent with the jetpack that you could have, kind of eliminate this. And with Sprint, definitely, that took that away. Now it was about speed and brevity. And especially in Halo 5, with the boost and the unlimited sprint, that changed Halo irreparably. Now you didn't have to worry about, am I placed in the right spot? You could just mosey around the map, and if your teammate got into trouble, you could just run to them and they could run to you. Used to in Halo 3, and even in Halo Reach to a large extent, if you got into a gunfight, you were committed. There was very little chance you were going to get away from it. So there was a high emphasis on getting on the drop on somebody, being able to read what your opponent's going to do, where are they going to send their resources out, and where can you counteract. Halo 3 was definitely the most strategic Halo game that there was, and Halo Reach is close behind it. Halo 2 had some balancing issues, and depending on whether you want to take the pre-auto update version or the post-auto update version, it's a game that's lacking in a lot of places. I mean, I'm not going to keep my nostalgia goggles on for this one. I'm going to straight up tell you, Halo 2 had some serious issues. Halo 1, Halo CE had some serious issues, but here's the thing. They were the best games that were out there when they were out there. 2001, 2004, there is no better shooter on consoles, period. They do everything right that everybody else does wrong, and the things that they do wrong, nobody else is doing them right. So Halo 1, Halo CE, and Halo 2 are basically king of the castle, just pretty much going uncontested. By the time Halo 3 comes out, there's some serious competition for online shooters. You got Gears of War coming out, or already has come out in 2006. By 2009, Gears of War 2 comes out, which in my opinion was the best Gears of War multiplayer that there ever was. It was faster paced than Gears of War 1, if I remember correctly, but you still had that awesome Halo 3 dynamic of you gotta choose where you're gonna put your guys at, because they can't move around fast enough to get to you if you run into trouble. So you've got to really think about where you're gonna go and what you're gonna do over there and what kind of fight you're gonna get into and how many guys you're gonna face. That's why I like Gears of War. I didn't really mind the elimination style play where you start 5v5 and you die and then you wait for the next round to start. That didn't bother me so much. But it was always that dynamic of the slow speed chess match. You got some time to figure this out. You don't have to just rush in and figure it out when you get there. You got to coordinate with your team, like, hey, you do this, you do that. This is a game that you're supposed to play with friends. You're supposed to build a good friends list of like 10 guys that you can play with at any time and kind of mix and match guys in and out based on who's online or whatever, and try to find like your optimum team. And some teams do better on different maps. Some guys have a playstyle that caters to a certain map. Halo 3, Halo Reach to an extent, although the jetpack and the sprint kind of fucked that that up a little bit. But definitely Gears of War throughout its entire run, they always had this heavy emphasis on team composition, the map you were going up against, and resource allocation. That is what made Halo and Gears of War what they were. Unfortunately, 2007 comes around and Modern Warfare 1, Call of Duty 4, takes the world by storm. It is this Twitch shooter that is just completely disjointed from anything that's really come before it. You have big teams of like 10, 12, 14 guys at a time, none of them communicating with each other. That's why Capture the Flag on Call of Duty always sucked. And just in this orgy of violence, just shooting guys left and right, it's actually really fun. I had a hell of a time with Modern Warfare 1 and 2. I didn't care for 3 so much, I think they fucked up the maps, but 1 and 2 had the right maps, the right gameplay style, the right type of weapons and perks and all that stuff. I think Modern Warfare 2 was probably the pinnacle of Call of Duty multiplayer if you ask me. But of course I always played Halo 2 and I always played Gears of War as well. Halo 4 with its class system, the sprint and the Promethean vision and the boost and again the jetpack, it's trying to go more towards this Call of Duty play style of high speed, twitchy finger on the trigger, who gives a shit about team composition or map layout because you can just boost or jetpack around it, you can sprint anywhere there's trouble and you can get into these gunfights and you can have a 1 versus 2 gunfight and you can win. And Call of Duty, that was the appeal of it, is if you got into a situation where there was 2 or 3 dudes and it's just you, if you got the drop on them, you could possibly take all 3 of those guys out, and that actually happens quite a bit. In Gears of War and in Halo, you probably get 1 guy, yeah, but the other 2 guys are going to realize where you're at and they're going to eliminate your ass because it takes so long to get a kill. You got to get, 3 good shots. That's if you're perfect. If you're not perfect, you're getting like, 3 body shots and a miss and then a headshot, 5 shots. That's it takes a while. And all while this is going on, your teammates are hearing this and saying, oh shit, guy got the drop on us, let's take his ass out. And then they team shot your ass and you're dead. In Call of Duty, it was just dead. I just got a triple kill, quad kill, A grenade could kill 5 guys. In Halo, a grenade is simply going to drop the shields of anybody who's standing right on top of it. You still got to finish the thing off with an accurate headshot. Halo 3 also had very little aim assist when you compare it to Halo Reach or Halo 4 or Halo 5. I mean, it's hard. Call of Duty has a lot of aim assist. It's meant for people to pick up and be good at right off the bat, so you keep that interest. Halo 4 tries to do this middle ground of, well, we're gonna have, BR starts and it's gonna be mostly Halo centric, but this movement and the speed from Call of Duty, we want that too. It doesn't do so hot. It's trying to please everybody and pleasing no one. But then the Halo MCC comes out, Master Chief Collection, and they shit the bed. 343 Industries, who took over the Halo franchise when Bungie left to go do Destiny, then that's a whole nother shit show for another day. But when 343 took over, they had this vision that, well, we're going to make this competitive in the marketplace again. And so Halo 4, kind of lukewarm, didn't do as well as expected. Okay, well, MCC, we're going to build up this hype and we're going to be working on Halo 5 too. And then when Halo 5 drops, it's, MCC is just going to give us this big, great boost and Halo's going to be back on the map again. MCC was worked on in part by 343, but it was outsourced also to all these different subcontractors who worked on it. MCC comes out, it is totally unplayable. It's supposed to have Halo CE online play, Halo 2 online play, Halo 3, Halo 2 Anniversary, basically every game the Master Chief was in. It's totally unplayable. You can't find a game, you're having connection issues, people can't even get into your party. It's having problems with party chat on Xbox Live. It's not communicating with that at all. You have situations where you can play with guys, but if you're in the same party chat with them, you get disconnected or you get booted out of party chat. It's just a total shit show. I remember the thing that boggled my mind was I'm playing Halo 2, I'm on turf, and the radar, or motion tracker I should say, is lagging. Just that. The motion tracker is showing a blip like in top left. Well, that guy left a minute ago. He's like way behind me. By the time I'm seeing a blip on the radar behind me, I'm already getting assassinated. And remember, the range on the motion tracker in Halo 2 is pretty big. Like, it takes some time to cover that distance, and your character in Halo 2 isn't moving that fast either. So I'm like, how the fuck do you get just the motion tracker to lag and not keep up with the motion that's going on the map concurrently with it? 1 month goes by, some patches come out, really nothing changes. 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6 months later, we have the MCC that we have now. And by the way, it's not perfect. I'm still playing it every once in a while, and every once in a while, I get connection issues. For whatever reason, I have to have one of my friends or myself restart their box, like hard reset, and boot the game back up, and then we can connect. Even then, sometimes it just doesn't take. Like sometimes I've restarted my Xbox, hard reset, unplugged my router, plugged it back in, it still couldn't do it. MCC was just on its period that day or whatever. I don't know. That left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. By the time Halo 5 comes out, everybody's like, oh, Halo, the game that had all those connection issues, right? I was kind of hyped for Halo 5. Like I bought it over Xbox Live and downloaded it the night before. Me and my buddy both decided to do that. We're like, oh man, this is gonna be awesome, because the beta had came out on the MCC, and the beta was pretty good. It had less aim assist. Yeah, there was a lot of speed involved, but it was very map focused. It was difficult to move like from the bottom level of the map to the second level of the map. You didn't have the jetpack anymore, thank fucking God. All these armor abilities are gone, but you do have like this boost Spartan charge thing. Don't really know how that's supposed to work. The beta was only out for like 10 days, 2 weeks or something like that, 14, 15 days, I forget. But while it's out, it's pretty good. The weapons that they put out there are pretty good. You know, the rocket only has one shot now instead of two. It's probably good for balancing issues. You know, you don't want a super weapon like it was in Halo 2 where you could get reloads for it and you could just keep it the whole fucking game and win by a landslide. Power weapons should help you get ahead just enough. It should let you overcome a 5 kill deficit, and then, you know, you should be out of ammo for it, and then it resets. It's got the countdown clock on all the power weapons, so now you know immediately like when it's gonna respawn. You don't have to just kind of do trial and error. Okay, that respawns every 3 minutes. Everybody check the clock every once in a while and make sure 3 minutes is up. It was last down with 5:15 to go. It'll be back up at 2:15. That's such an ancient way of doing things. Just give us a countdown clock, and they did that, and it was good. Halo 5 comes out, and they've tweaked it a lot. Radar is so small now. They've basically cut it in half, the radius that it goes out from. And of course now it's so goddamn fast, by the time you see a guy on motion tracker, that motherfucker's already up on you. Why the fuck do I even have this thing? The maps that come out in the main game are very much unfocused from position and layout, meaning that it doesn't really matter if you have the high ground. And if you do have the high ground, well, it's so easy to counteract that. Why even have it? Halo was always about, you know, finding the best spot on the map to make your stand and making the enemy come to you. Again, this is this resource allocation thing we're talking about, but if you can boost up and Spartan charge and sprint in there, it completely nullifies this whole aspect of the game. This aspect that was actually in the Halo 5 beta, in the maps that were in it, is now gone. Also, people start to figure out the Spartan charge and the boost and the sprint, and this game is lightning fast. This game is not your daddy's Halo. This game is fast, it is heavy, it is hard, and it is now a Twitch shooter. It's fine if you want to play Call of Duty. If you want to play Halo, it's not what you're looking for. And now you're so fast, resource allocation's out of the fucking picture. You don't have to worry about it anymore. Because if I got 3 guys over here and 2 guys over there, and, you know, the 2 guys get into a gunfight and they're outnumbered 4-2, well, everybody can just sprint and boost over there, and they're over there in a matter of seconds. Also, if you get into a fight and you're like, shit, I don't want to fight, well, you can get the fuck out of Dodge. I couldn't believe it when I first started playing it, how few times I got into a gunfight with a guy and I just couldn't finish it. The guy got away. In Halo 3, if you got into a gunfight and you got the drop on some dude, that dude never got away. I'm telling you, man, that game punished you for not paying attention. And once you got into a gunfight, you were committed to it. In Halo 5, it was like half the gunfights I got into, like I couldn't even finish. Also, no BR start. They say, well, you got an AR and a pistol, and the pistol's like the Halo 1 pistol. It's got zoom, it's got semi-automatic fire capability. It's going to be kind of like a DMR. You start fiddling with it, and man, that thing is finicky as fuck. You can't get a beat on it to save your fucking life. It's got a lot of bloom. It's very iffy on headshots. It's not a DMR, and it's certainly not a battle rifle. The 2 hallmarks of Halo playstyle are just not there. I think to this day there's still no BR start playlist on Halo 5. Oh wait, no, there's the Halo 2 BR. It's literally called Halo 2 BR, and it's what it says. It's the BR from Halo 2, 3-shot and you're out. But this is like 3 years almost since launch. I mean, fucking pathetic. Ultimately, as Halo 6 is somewhere in the picture, don't know exactly when it's coming down the pipe, but it's somewhere in the ether being worked on as we speak. Do I think these problems are going to be addressed? No. 343 Industries at this point does not strike me as a company that learns from its mistakes. It's really only a matter of time until Microsoft says, you guys have screwed the pooch on this so much, we're giving this to somebody else. And fingers crossed that somebody else can actually realize what Halo players want and what Halo 4 and Halo 5 did not deliver. All of that, and I haven't even mentioned that they fucked up the playlists. No big team battle, no one bomb, no one flag, no team skirmish at launch, no forge at launch. I mean, these are the things that made Halo Halo, and you're just gonna skip out on them? Also, they made capture the flag 2 flag only and 5 caps to win instead of 3. It's always been 3 caps to win because it doesn't need to be any longer than that. Any longer than that, we're just piddling about. Every CTF match that has ever happened has either been a total blowout, which happens like 90% of the time, 3-1, 3-0, or is so close that, yeah, it came down to 1 flag cap, and coming down to 5 isn't really going to change the outcome. It just drags it out way longer than it needs to be, and in today's gaming world, you don't want to be wasting people's time. That's what that was. It was wasting people's time. So again, I don't think 343 is going to fix this with Halo 6. If they do, I will eat my own ass. But then again, I don't think I'm going to buy Halo 6. I honestly don't think so, unless the beta comes out and I play the beta and I'm just blown away. Then I'm like, alright, you got my $60, but I'm not holding my breath. Anyway, that's been my take on the downfall of one of my favorite gaming franchises of all time. Halo not only really brought me into console gaming in the early 2000s, it brought me into online gaming. That game changed the way I looked at video games. I saw them as art, I listened to the music, I saw the graphics, the story and all of that, and I realized that gaming isn't just for kids. It's not just playful and colorful and Mario jumping around and smashing blocks and stuff. It can be really adult oriented, and it can tell a really compelling story. And to see this game go down the tubes so fast and so hard is really disheartening. Hopefully they do turn it around, but then again, like I said, not hold my breath. Anyway, that does it for this video. I'll have another one out tomorrow because it is MIAMAFV, folks. Take it easy.